Okay, ma'on shel shozeh, the person who doesn't apply himself sufficiently in terms of the study of Torah, which is attributed to laid-backness, laziness. Ma'on shel shozeh, what is the punishment of this individual? Shlomo pirsho poritz geder yishcheno nochosh. The one who breaches the fence, he deserves to be bitten by the snake. V'hainu ki roasa otzel. No, we said this paragraph. Bottom paragraph. V'hinei anachnu ro'am beinenu. We see clearly. He's like beinenu. We see clearly with our eyes. It's literally visual. Kama v'kama pomim. Many times. Chekvar libo shalod miyodei chovoso. A person, he says, he should say, she'odom yodei chovos. What's shelibo shalodom yodei chovoso? What's libo shalodom? Libo is always the emotion. Sometimes you know something intellectually. Libo means you even have the feeling. Libo shalodom yodei chovoso. One feels, it's not only he knows he has an obligation, he feels he has an obligation. It's been verified and confirmed what he needs to save his neshama. Not a question. And his obligation, the obligation which is incumbent upon him because of his maker. Nevertheless, he's going to leave it, he's going to pass on it. It's not because he's lacking in understanding the importance and the degree of obligation. For no other reason. It's just the weightiness of laziness overtakes him. Yes, why did you do it? Can't tell you why. Just didn't do it. Should have you? Yes, I should have. People, you don't need much of an excuse why you don't do things. I just didn't do it. Shareu omer ochel kimo, o ishen kimo. A person says, I'm going to eat a little bit, I'm going to sleep a little bit, and then I'll get to it. We're talking about procrastination. Nothing for something, anything significant. O kosher lotzis basic. I have to get dressed, go out, put on my coat. I just came home. I mean, really, not really sufficient reason not to. You don't need sufficient. Once you change location, it's not so simple to go back. B'shatis kutonti, I just removed my outer garment. Eichel v'sheno, you mean I should put it back on? Chamo azeh ba'olam, it's hot outside. Hakoro rabo, there's intense cold. Ogshomim, it's raining. Chol shara maslos hatonos, many all kinds of excuses and pretexts. Ashepia atzolam olim, which the lazy person, the person who's not motivated, he's filled with them. Benkach or benkach, but nevertheless, whatever the reason is, haTorah menachos, the Torah is what? Is abandoned, is left behind. Vavodim vuteles, and the service is nullified. And they say, it's a slippery slope. It goes from one level to another level to another level. Let's say you have a beam, a supporting beam, and there's a slight hairline crack in it. What do you have to do? You have to fix it immediately. What happens if you let it for a while? The weight of the beam, it's a supporting beam, it gets wider and wider until the whole thing collapses. Once that beam breaks, that's a supporting beam, the whole house comes down. Identically. How does things happen? It comes through neglect. But time, due to the laziness of the person, the supporting beam is weakened. You have a slight leak. You see already some wetness on the ceiling, which indicates a leak. Ultimately, you don't take care of that, it's going to come through until the ceiling's going to cave in. The house has become inundated with this putrid water. But if you would have repaired it and addressed it immediately, it wouldn't have come to this level. And that's the same thing with life. It's laziness. It's neglect. Why? You just didn't get it. I didn't get around to it. Remember many years ago, a mashgiach, he was the old-time mashgiach Mir Mashgiach. He was the Talmud Muvak of Chatzkel Levenstein, and he was very close to Rabbi Rucham. These were the Mashgiachim in Europe. And so I remember he once said to me, so there was a transition period when the yeshiva had moved from the old neighborhood to the new neighborhood. So there were a group of students who would go out to the new neighborhood. It was out in the country. So at nighttime they weren't part of the yeshiva. So they weren't supervised as the others. The mashgiach wasn't there. It was a different campus. So and it was my responsibility to take care, to supervise to such a degree, to interact with the students, the younger students. So I told them things aren't that simple. You know, I said, since the mashgiach is not there, it's a whole different tone, a whole different level of sense of responsibility. They don't have that same sense. So he said to me in his Yiddish, it's not one mashgiach for everyone. He says each student has to have his own personal supervisor. That's the way it is. Not as a policeman. The continuous encouragement, speaking about it, and motivating the person, because a person naturally is not inclined to this. You're inclined to things that what you are. What's that? Physicality. That's where we're driven. Otherwise, we're not inclined. So the slightest excuse, you're not doing it, and that's exactly what is that? That's the weightiness of the reality of the makeup of a human being. That's what it is.
Even physicality, though, I mean, it's just the same thing. If somebody wants to get in shape and work out at a gym, he's still going to be, he's still a natural tendency to just,
Because it's an effort. You're not inclined to that.
Exactly.
It's easier.
Of course.
Everybody wants, the easy way out. The easy way is, even if a person knows that people after a heart attack, and they have to go to a cardiac, they have to, but still maybe the first few times yes, then afterwards they slacken off. The moment they believe their lives are not at risk, they're not going to do the exercise, or the diet, or whatever it is. But it's a question of life. You read the statistics, it's not enough. You haven't done enough. It doesn't make a difference. It's an effort. Anything which is an effort, people would not do. He runs the mile in how many minutes? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Against your nature to get up. You really have to force yourself to get up and not from sleeping and lying over. He says that even your malveros, good sense, but you were committed to getting up early in the morning. When it comes to the chaos of basic, even if you're malveros, you'll be resurrected first. What do you
Have to see it inside.
That's your God.
Okay?
He was given credit that
I understand that. I understand that. Look, he's a fundraiser. Okay. Today, Lakewood has one mashgiach. You have thousands of students. Thousands. Is it enough?
But he must have some supplement.
Even if he does what, another 2-3 people, it's meaningless. It's meaningless. Yeah.
So there is no personal attention. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, logically, to say get credit, but he should be the first.
You
got up early.
Okay, maybe. I'd like to see it inside. Yeah. If you tell Rav Steinman a story, for him to accept it as being credible, you have to tell him the source, and if the source, and he says, and who says that source is a credible source? He says the Yismach Moshe says it. That's firstly. Who said he says it? I'd like to see it. And even if he says it, who said everybody agrees with it? Okay? He says, if you ask the lazy person, he will quote many statements, multiple statements of the Chachomim. V'amikros min aksuvim, who'll quote verse from the scripture. V'atonis min seichel, and logical, rational reasons. Asher kulam yorlo lefi datam shubeshes, yeah? And all would indicate through his corrupted way of thinking. To justify why he has a right to be left alone. Many people, here's the reason why they lax in many things is because, or they raise their children in a way which is not fully strict and observant, because ultimately they're going to go out to the world, they're going to be shocked. They're going to be shocked. So better raise them with less, so there shouldn't be the shock reaction. Understand? Therefore, they don't raise them as they should, with certain levels of teachings and behavior to observe 100%. Right? Within a certain context, you see, it makes sense. You know, it's damage control. This is damage control. Yeah, but again, the fidata mishubeshes, you understand? According to his corrupted way of thinking. How does he explain mishubeshes? Not derived, he uses a nice word, not derived through balanced reasoning. But the person doesn't see, but the person doesn't understand that all of these rationales don't emanate from proper thinking, from evaluation, a responsible evaluation. It's due to what? Everything emanates from his laziness. As a result of being overtaken by mate dat of sichla autonomous eila, therefore he veers and he sides with all these reasons, which are not acceptable. And as a result, he doesn't heed the words, the voice of the chachomim, vanchei deya hanachona. Umashlomo tzavech v'omer, chocham otzel be'enov, b'shiva meshivi toam. He said, the chocham otzel be'enov. You hear this? The indolent person is wiser in his own eyes than 7 sages who sit before the king. No, there's an expression in Yiddish, an iber chocham. You know, he thinks knows more than everybody. It doesn't even give him a sense or capacity to take into consideration those who try to communicate to him. They're a bunch of fools. They're all making mistakes. He's the only wise man. He knows it all. Everybody is going in the wrong direction. It's all fanaticism. He comes from a different era. He's this, that. Everybody has his way of processing it. Why he rejects it.
Sometimes, for instance, sometimes you shelter your children from a lot of things, but just like in the simple level, like say smoking. So, hey kids, don't smoke this stuff. You tell them to listen, convince them to get out there in the real world, wherever it is, trust they've been.
See, you shouldn't tell them smoking's no good. So they'll try it. So you can tell them it is good, then this.
So what I'm saying is you can control it.
But you can't teach them to do something wrong. No, but if you don't...
You can expose it like I expose it. Here, this is this. They take the cigarette, they get sick as a dog. They don't know how to do it.
But you realize, but there's smoking once, twice, there's nothing wrong with that. He would tell me, you're not going to raise your child properly because of this reason.
I remember when Isaac, he says, I never had a drink before. I'm going to try a drink. So it was cool. I pulled that, went to Rabbi's house. They had, I was sitting next to Jerry Ben Hoffman, about 6 boys.